We are live. Welcome, everybody, to Master Random Live. You got Boo here, T-Ville, and our special guest today, Mr. Trae Santos.
Hey,
how you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so how's your day been going? I know you just came from the field, and right now spring training. So what's going on your end?
Not much, man. It's just on a daily routine, usually wake up around 5:30 and head to the field, and usually out there got weights first thing, breakfast and weights and some activation stuff to get the body loose, and we usually have like a classroom session, and then we're out on the field doing our early work, and then we actually have practice and lunch and then the game. So it's a pretty full day. Usually go from get that around 6 and don't leave till 5:30. So it's a pretty long day. We've only had one off day. I've been here since February 18th, and spring training started on February or March 7th for everybody else because I came to a mini camp.
Right.
So it's I've been here for a good while already, and I'm ready to get the season going.
Yeah. So I mean, how we were trying to figure it out. So there on Google there isn't much that tells us your steps throughout getting drafted to playing a couple minor league teams, and then I think just was it recently that you got put into the majors?
Oh yeah, see that's the thing. I'm still not like on the major league roster yet. During spring training, the big league club gives some minor leaguers the opportunity to experience it. Like we have sometimes we'll do a split squad where, for the most part, two organizations share one stadium during spring training. So what they like to do is sometimes play split squad games where one team will play at home, or half of the team will play at home, and the other half will play away. So they usually use minor league guys to kind of fill those gaps on positions that they need for that particular day.
So it's definitely sets the stage as a proving ground.
Oh yeah.
So there's still people being like, okay, like this guy's doing good during spring training. Let's bump him up.
Yeah, like today I actually went to a big league spring training game today, and I didn't get to play today. Unfortunately, but I was still able to go up there and experience it and kind of hang around with those big leaguers and really get a feel for kind of how they go about their business and what it takes to be up there and stay consistent and have a long career.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I just YouTubed a video, or I just YouTubed your name the other day, and I saw. Man, your percentage up there is 1,000%, or what, 1.0. That's pretty freaking awesome. I just have to cue that in there. And I was like, I know what 1.0 is. I played baseball back home on Guam for like a year or two. But I remember you, man. You were like you guys, you and your dad and your brother. I think you guys used to either own or run the cage long time ago.
It's money, yeah.
Yeah. I have my whole family's the Munya family, so they all play baseball, and I played for a little while, and I don't really play as much anymore. But I remember you, man. Like you used to give us the tokens. I'm like 28. You must be like, I don't know,
23.
Like 23, right? So you're still young, and your dad you're hitting, I think the medium or the fast pitch, and I was still trying to hit the fast pitch, and I'm like, this kid's good. And I just remember your dad like just drilling you when we're doing drills. And stuff, but when I saw the 1.0, I was like, or when I saw the thing, he bat on the bottom of the ninth inning, and he smacked the homer, like the first shot. Like, dude, they should just put him on the team like right now. Like, what does that say? He just killed like some pro. That was a pro pitcher or whatever. I mean, he killed the ball. It went. I think, was that your first swing?
No, I got 2 at bats that game, and my first at bat, I swung at the first pitch and I hit a line drive up the middle, and got a hit. And my second at bat, I actually went. He threw 3 changeups in a row, so I took the first one for a ball, and then the second 2 I swung and missed and looked kind of stupid. But after that, it was 1-2, and he threw a curveball, and I took it, so the count went to 2-2, and then he threw a fastball, and, I was ready for it, and I was able to put a good swing on it. Actually, when I hit it, I was rounding the bases, and I usually I run the run out of the box hard because I have a fear of it not going over. So I just run as hard as fast as I can. Yeah, because it's happened to me a couple of times where I would jog it and think it's a home run, and then it stays inside the park. So I was running, and I got to second base, and it didn't really hit me until then that I actually hit a home run in a big league game. Even though it was a spring training game, it was still an experience that I'll never forget, and one that a lot of people aren't able to say they did. So it's something I always cherish.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
Can you take us a little bit through your journey of from Velena mentioning the cage, to playing in the Little League World Series, to deciding you want to move out to the States and stay in the States, to playing for Troy, everything. Can you take us on that journey?
Yeah, man. It was 2005. I decided that I wanted to, play baseball professionally and want to go and play, high school and college baseball out in the States. And that was after my 8th grade year, or after my 7th grade year. I talked to my parents and told them that's what I wanted to do. So they decided to, move out and give it a shot. It was something that was a big sacrifice on their part, but it's something that I can't stop thanking them enough for, and something that they felt passionate about doing as well. Trying to give not only me but my brothers and sister, the best opportunity for education and any other thing we wanted to do. So I came out here in 2006 and played 4 years of high school baseball on the varsity team at Pelham High School, where I was mainly a pitcher. But my junior year got hurt, broke my elbow, and had an elbow surgery. So that kind of put a lot of college stuff on hold, and a lot of the bigger schools that I wanted to go to kind of turned them off because of the injury. But after that, I ended up going to a junior college in Florida called Northwest Florida State College, and went there for 2 years. And I still pitched, but my arm wasn't very, very consistent. It wasn't really the same. I wasn't throwing as hard as I normally was, and I still pitched, but I started to hit a lot more. And I never really believed in myself that much, or thought about myself as a professional hitter. I always knew I could compete and could get by and help out the team, but as far as professional player, I didn't think I had what it took. And I ended up hitting over 300 both years, and started to realize I can do that. And then I ended up going to Troy, where I had another surgery on my left elbow, my throwing arm, that fall. So it kind of took the wind out of my sails, but it was just kind of up to me to make the best of the situation and keep moving forward with my career. If I wanted to keep playing baseball, I was going to have to bear down with the books, make sure my studies were in order, but at the same time making sure I'm taking care of my body and rehabbing the right way and all that stuff. And go ahead.
How did you know that you were gonna get ready you had to get ready for the big leagues? At what point in your college career did you know?
About midway through the year, my junior year, actually my freshman and sophomore year of junior college, I started to really hit the ball well, and I started getting attention from some scouts and getting some letters and stuff like that. And my coaches would tell me that scouts have been asking about me. But it wasn't really till my junior year at Troy when I started playing and I started getting calls from scouts and stuff like that, and started meeting them in person. And, it didn't really sink in that I had a chance to get drafted until about probably midway through my junior season. And, I was hitting the ball well, and I ended up finishing that year, third in home runs in all of college baseball with 18. So, it was really kind of unexpected and kind of shocking at the same time. But, really happy that I was able to have the opportunity to pursue, a career in professional baseball.
Kind of like realizing your dream in that one moment, huh?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, my first 2 years of pro ball were absolutely miserable. It wasn't everything I thought it was. It was so much harder mentally on yourself than anything. Obviously the physical demand is immense, and your body takes a beating. Going out there every day and making sure you're healthy and ready to play, have enough sleep, stuff like that. With all the traveling we do, but mentally, man, that's honestly the biggest challenge, in my opinion, and something that I've come to learn from a lot of big leaguers that I've talked to, and a lot of experience that I've gained in the years that I've been playing. And it's hard to make sure that this is what you want to do, and it's a grind, man, for sure. And like I was saying, my first 2 years, it wasn't fun. Like I didn't feel like I was part of a team. I felt like I was placed in a group where everybody was trying to achieve one thing, which is to get to the next level, which is what you're supposed to do when you're pursuing professional baseball. But at the same time, it's a team sport, and it was hard to go each day and put my body on the line and have fun when I didn't trust the guy next to me or believe that he actually cared about me. And it sucked, for the first 2 years. But after my second year, this one guy, he was our infield coordinator for our minor league system. And man, he gave me a real big reality check. He reminds me of, typical Chamorro dad or your uncles that, expect the most out of you when they I don't know how to explain it, but he was grinding on me, man. He was basically, I guess, cussing me out, telling me I didn't give a crap, I could be so much more than what I'm making myself. But I was just mentally getting in the way of that. I was feeling sorry for myself because I wasn't playing well.
Do you feel like you were burning yourself out in a sense?
Emotionally or mentally, yeah. Because, I would tell myself I'm not good enough to play this game. I don't know what I'm doing here. This isn't fun. I'd rather be at home, finishing up school or something like that. And I had a real big reality check. And at that point, or that year, 2014, I didn't even, I guess I realized it, but at the end of the year, my body was really in trouble. I was 310 pounds at that time, and that's freaking heavy for a baseball player. And just kind of had to take a step back and look at my life and really change, have a lifestyle change. And that's when I decided to get healthy and start, taking my off season seriously, knowing what I have to do each year to prepare my body for, 8 months of baseball to stay healthy and in shape. And that going into 2015, I lost 60 pounds and I was in great shape. 2015 spring training was my make or break year. If I didn't do well, I was going to get cut. I wasn't probably going to make a team, but I came in spring training ready, and I played my butt off and was able to win a roster spot on a full season team. Because my first 2 years, I didn't get out of the rookie level or the short season ranks, which is all guys that are just drafted or drafted the year before out of high school. So I was way behind in a sense. So in 2015, I was finally able to get out of that rookie level and start playing A ball and working my way up.
So I mean, I want to ask a question about you mentioned your mental, kind of. I think we all go through it. I go through it sometimes, like kind of thinking like, man, do I really want to do this, or is this like you want to make sure that you find your purpose in life, or your you want to make sure that what you're doing is in that right path, or because you only have so much time, right?
Well, I think the thing about it, not to cut you off, dude, but the thing about it is that it's the fact that it's you don't know if it's a for sure thing.
Yeah,
which
and it
makes
scares
a lot of people worry.
It
scares the shit out of me still, dude. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for it's kind of I just want to know. Kind of a question is, dude, like what, like, do you still? I mean, have your not your doubts, but are you still confident? Do you still know that you really want to do baseball? Like baseball all the way. I mean, you wouldn't be doing it, right? But when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'm like, man, I want to know if that's normal. I guess I mean, you're doing it, man. You dropped everything to pursue it, and I give a lot of kudos to people that do that, man. And what gives you that strength to, like, when you have your doubts, to be like, you know what, this is it, or this is what I'm meant to do. What? I mean, is there a quote? Is there something your pops told you? You know what I mean? Is there someone you're honoring, or you know what I mean? Like.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that go into my confidence as far as knowing this is what I want to do. Number one is this from since I was a little kid, this is all I ever dreamed about. That from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, all I ever wanted to do was play baseball. And like now that I have the opportunity to do that, and the first 2 years of my career were terrible. Honestly, the thing that changed was my mental mindset, but also not allowing baseball to affect my personal life as far as relationships, like with my family members or my girlfriend.
Right.
And that was the hardest barrier to break through, which was to allow myself to not take baseball into that.
Kind of balance.
Because after a bad game, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. All they want to talk about is baseball, and I don't want to talk to anyone, period. So, just learning to deal with that and to accept help really has been the big thing. But, my brother passed away in 2013, the year that I got drafted. And, I play for him. I play for him. I play for my family, and I play for the island where I come from. I want to be the second, Major League Baseball player ever to come from Guam. And, that kind of pressure used to weigh me down.
Right.
Because I felt so much pressure to succeed for everybody. But really, if I wasn't succeeding for myself first, if I wasn't personally happy, because, every time I failed, I felt like I let everyone else down, when really I was just letting myself down because I was worrying about everything else instead of just doing what I needed to do to get ready to play every day. And after realizing that, really understanding and appreciating the support group I have back home, with my family and everyone back home in Guam and my girlfriend, that everything that I do in baseball, is great, but it's what I do. It's not who I am, and I guess I let baseball take over me, and the fear of not achieving what everybody know or expected me to do, or something like that. Like, it was getting in the way of my dream and the way I knew how to go about things.
It's like it's almost like the dream just kind of starts to consume you, and it gets all kind of black, and then you kind of just lose your like why you're even doing it, right? And man, I totally get that. So I guess
wait, before you continue, hey dude, I gotta cut out of here. Right. I'm gonna let you guys continue the conversation.
All right,
I hope we can definitely talk again, in the future.
For sure. Now that
this is definitely not going to be our last show.
Yeah, now that we know how to do this through iPhone, I can do this.
We're getting the hang of it, man. All right, Boo, you're gonna
yeah. I'm
All right.
gonna checking out everybody. See you. Thank you for joining.
All right,
us.
it's gonna get.
Enjoy the show with these guys. Shoot.
Thanks,
See you,
Boo.
man.
Hey, don't worry, Trae. Boo likes to keep me on a leash, so it's about to get more fun, man. Anyways, man, I want to go back to, like, for me, my earliest. You don't remember me because I didn't play a lot, man. I didn't play seriously and stuff. I just played probably the people that played real serious in my family's like Jathan Barnes, Mikey Boy Bautista. You might know my uncle Eddie Boy, Munya, and then Senior. Those guys there, and Matt Munya, all those guys. These guys are like all Jacob Barnes or Kobe.
Yeah, Jathan and Kobe. They're my. I'm related to those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, that's right. That's right. So that's how I would go with Uncle Jake to the cage and dude, I just remember you, Brad. I remember trying to hit that. That's my earliest memory of you. Like, I'm trying to hit the ball, and I just started playing like my freshman year. Or I was playing in like I was like, rookie, when do you stop getting pitched? Like, you get the pitching machine. Like, right when that stopped, like from softball to hardball, I stopped playing, right?
Yeah.
And then I started playing again in high school, and I remember trying to hit the fast pitch, and dude, they're like, watch Trae, watch this little kid, dude, and you hit the fast pitch, and I'm like, dude, all right, I don't think I'm gonna play baseball anymore. But dude, let's talk about what's your earliest baseball memory? Like what, like, if you can remember. I mean, when you started playing, when did you start playing first? Like, how old were you?
I started playing when I was 4 years old.
Yeah, I signed up. They got me around there. Yeah, around 4, like pitcher, right?
Yeah, using the pitching machine, and I was playing the pitcher position, which is right next to the circle.
Me too. So, that's where they start out everybody.
Yeah, but probably have to say, like, my most fondest baseball memories were, going to practice with my dad and my older brother TJ. And at the end of the practice, when we're loading up the truck, my dad wouldn't let me ride in the bed of the truck until we got to our street. Because I thought that was like the coolest thing, to just ride in the bed of the truck with my brother and his friends. And I never got to do that until we got to our street. So it would only be like a 30-second ride. So
because they can't let you see the cops, right?
Yeah. So that was so much fun for me, and being at the practice and watching all those guys, and
the older boys,
Rocky Alcantara,
dude,
Jared Palomo,
exactly.
All those guys, man. I looked up to all those guys, and I actually, when I went home for my brother's funeral, we played a game for him, which is all his old teammates.
Yep.
That I got to watch when I was younger. I got to play with those guys for the first time, and it was crazy because they were asking me for hitting advice and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, dude, I don't know why you're asking me. Like, I looked up to you guys when I was, freaking 6-7 years old. And, I still do. Those guys, had a huge, part of molding me as a baseball player, along with my brother and dad and Coach Sean Munya, who is, my coach for forever, man. And that those guys have a lot to do with, where I'm at now and the ball player that I am. So, I can't thank them enough. And I just hope that they know how much I appreciate it and how much I love them. And, how thankful I am for all the stuff that they taught me throughout the years.
Right on, man. So you must have gone to the Munya compound if your Uncle Sean is your coach. Like, I live like, right. Yeah, that's my uncle. You must always freaking have been down near Uncle Eddie's house and the pitching cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I played for Coach Sean. I don't know.
Is that the Little League team too?
Yeah, I played for him for at least 4 or 5 years, and those guys are,
they're hardcore, dude.
Sean Jr.
Yep.
Those guys are some of my best friends, and I miss them, and have a lot of good memories with those guys.
All right. So if you had to say, I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot. Maybe you can pick 2. Who back home when you're growing up? Who is some of your favorite teammates? Or if you had to pick one favorite teammate, man, can't be your brother because and I'm about to ask you the coach too. So I'm going to do the coach and the teammate, and it can't be your dad too. So, I mean, we mentioned Uncle Sean, but was there anybody else for the coach that, that really kind of made you fall in love with the game more, or was it him? And if it was him, what I mean, was it his passion for the sport, or because they would differ from styles from your dad, right? It's just natural.
I would honestly have to say my first coach, Coach Mike Uggan, when I was playing, pitching machine and
right.
Probably Coach Sean too. That guy. He was pretty hard nosed, just along with my dad.
Yep.
He was intense, but it taught me, how to be tough, and coming out here and playing high school baseball, and I didn't know what to expect, dude. And like every time I went out there, I would just, think of where I came from and not to compromise that with what they're asking me to do. But baseball out here is, on another level than back home. I know back home, there's such a passion for the game that everybody has. It brings a lot of people together, and it gives them something to be a part of, and that's what got me to love baseball. But out here, along with that passion and the drive and love for the game, also comes along with it like in an incredible amount of work and intent in everything that you do, especially if you want to go past, high school and college. Like that's the biggest thing that, I'm so grateful for, was that my passion for the game didn't make me shy away from the work. My love for the game and how much fun I had playing it didn't discourage me from working as hard as I could. It pushed me, like, because I love playing so much, because I had so much fun, I didn't mind working. That was fun to me as well. So, but I think I can't just pick one teammate, because
all right, two.
Okay, it's kind of gonna be cheating, but it's okay. My cousins, Brandon and Chad Fernandez.
Right on.
Those guys. We played everything together. We practice every day outside in the yard, and I don't even know how many balls we hit on top of our neighbor, Mr. Kim, his 2-story house that he finally moved out of. And when one of my uncles moved into that house, I don't know how many balls they found on the top of the roof that have been there since freaking 1998 or whatever like that. So those guys, man, they influenced me a lot, and they're two great guys, and I love them, and I miss them, and I look up to them for so much, and are a big part of who I am as a ball player and as a person.
Right on, man. It's almost like Shotgun not going to ask Mr. Kim to go get the balls up there.
Yeah,
we're out of balls. Like we check the jungle, the usual spots that it rolls.
Sure, like he used to have like a scrap pile that we would hit balls into, and like once we couldn't find any more there, we're like, dude, you got to go ask Mr. Kim if we can go upstairs and get the balls, So we would take turns, and it got kind of scary because he was he was kind of an intimidating guy, but we always found a way to find another ball and to keep playing.
To not ask him, right?
Yeah, for sure,
dude.
Or we would just ask one of our parents to ask him if we can go get the ball.
Dude, yeah, freaking. There's always. I mean, I think that's where it starts. I mean, you talked about the passion. Your passion gets you through your work, and you see all these quotes. I see all these quotes around. Find something you're passionate about, and then do it so that it won't turn into a job. And that's exactly what you're gonna kind of do. But I mean, to talk about passion more and talk about baseball back home, back on Guam, and the level you mentioned, the level of it's different from back home and in the States. Let's say, after you're done completely and you retire and you come back home and you're Uncle Sean and it's your turn to fire up the passion in the boys, the younger boys. What do you think is a couple things, one or two things that you learned out there that, that so far that you've experienced, what would you for sure bring back to Guam and um, give to the younger kids?
First of all, that's, when I'm done playing or when I have, a good amount of time, like,
Yep.
that's something I'm really passionate about, is giving back to the baseball community back in Guam, and bringing more knowledge and just more information about the game that, we don't get or we don't really see,
Right.
because of, baseball back home it's recreational, it's for fun, it's because we love to compete, it's because we love being around our people. And beyond that, what I learned out here is that, baseball is freaking hard, man, and it takes a lot of work, and I guess just the work ethic part, like, that's what I feel like is a huge part of my success is, I work my tail off, man. And
yeah, no doubt.
after a game back I remember when I was, in freaking 6th grade, there was no kid on the island of Guam that wasn't me or my older brother or my 2 cousins that would wake up as soon as light, like 5:30, drive to Barragata Field and take batting practice, or go long toss or condition or throw a bullpen, right before I went to school.
Right.
And, I was fortunate because my dad, was willing to do all those things with me. He sacrificed a lot. He built a batting cage, in my backyard. He built a batting cage in Tamuning, and it wasn't because he wanted to build a business, but he wanted me and my brothers and my cousins to practice. He built it for us, but, having
out.
everybody on the island enjoy it as well was just a bonus.
Yep.
And after, a bad game when I was in Little League or even playing Junior Little League, I wasn't afraid to go work right after that. Like, feel like because I had a bad game, hey, Dad, when we get home, let's hit an extra bucket, or let's hit 2 buckets, or take some more ground balls, because number one, I hate losing. I absolutely hate it. I hate failing.
Yep.
Especially when I know I prepared to do so. So just the work ethic part of it, man, it really stands out for me, and it's something I try to harp on, and something I feel like, what's up, Hood? How you doing? Something I really, try to let come out of me or shine through in my daily routines, and how coaches and evaluators, scouts, and decision makers see me each day. So that work ethic is something that I pride myself in, and something you'll never see me slack off on. If I'm tired, all right, I'll do my extra work, but I'll make them, instead of, hitting for an extra hour, I'll hit for 30 minutes, but I'll make sure the quality of work and the intent,
in the time, the right,
and everything
time,
I do, is 100% meaningful. Because it's funny because we're doing a lot of like mental training and stuff, and there's this one quote, and I hope I don't screw it up, but it's like, I don't fear a man that's practiced 10,000 kicks, or that's mastered 10,000 kicks, but I fear the man who's mastered one kick 10,000 times. Yeah, it's like a Bruce Lee quote or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's something that's very true for, and it applies to baseball with the swing, or your throwing mechanics, and just anything like that, because unlike a lot of other sports, baseball is very repetitive. There's not very much you can do during practice other than what you do on a daily basis to get better. There's no new way to try and do something. It's like, there's batting practice, there's taking ground balls, there's conditioning, there's you lift weights to get stronger.
Yep.
But there's no crazy new invention to reinvent the way you train for baseball. So like, it's one of those games that stood the test of time as far as
preparation, and
there's nothing outside of playing the game and doing the reps, getting those swings, taking those ground balls, that are going to get you better, other than doing that itself. So
Thanks for that answer. Boo's apparently still on the, you can see him chatting over here on the right side. He's asking can Guam get to that level? So we were talking about, what do you, I mean, you said work ethic, but I remember I played Babe Ruth, and Little League was too hard, as I said when I was playing. Little League, man, you guys are really good. So I played Babe Ruth just to kind of get back into it and see if I wanted to play. And we went out to the States, and I remember thinking, like, dude, these guys throw so freaking hard. They're so fast. And you mentioned work ethic, and I remember thinking to myself, man, if I just kept going to that fast pitch pitching machine that Trae was at every time, I'd get better, right? But
yeah.
And you see, it's kind of chill. It brings people together on the island, right? The way the culture is. But that work ethic, it's almost like you said, maybe there's only a couple of you guys that are kind of game for doing that kind of thing. And it's almost like you don't want to push, like, where's that point where you kind of push them a little too hard? Because I remember them saying, like, man, these stateside when we went out, they play all year long. Spring, all the time. And what do you think? I mean, does Guam not? I remember it's only like one season, and then that's it. Like, kind of just chills. Like, do you think that there needs to be more like all year long kind of trainings for people that the kids need to be doing? Or
I do think that more baseball needs to be played. Like when I moved out to the States, I went from playing less than 50 games a year to over 100.
Right.
In my very first year out in the States, I played a 40-game high school season, or 40-game high school season, and then playing summer ball, playing 60 games, in like 2.5 months or something like that. And then going to college, playing 60 games plus summer ball. And then now in pro ball, I play 140 games plus, a month and a half of spring training. So that's over 162 games, so
there's 365 days a year, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also, like, along with, playing a lot more, needs to come more knowledge of preparing your body for that and preparing yourself just every day to play that much baseball. Because if you don't, your body's going to wear down, and the injury prevention, the arm care, the conditioning that goes into it, not many people in Guam know about it. A bunch of people think, all right, jog a couple laps around the field, let them stretch on their own. But there's a lot that goes into it, man. Like, when I get to the field, I get there probably around 6 o'clock. I eat my breakfast, and I go into the weight room, and I do what we call this activation. We call it morning activation. And it's basically, I get on a foam roller. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
No, I know exactly. I got one.
So
right
I
here,
use
man.
that, and I do the bands. I roll out my feet with these little, like, wooden balls that really freaking hurt.
Massage, dude. It's just massaging your feet so you can run faster, bro.
And just kind of loosens up all the muscles in your body. I'll get in a hot tub to warm up my muscles before all that, and do a lot of injury prevention exercises, with bands and resistance, and also with the strength and conditioning, your weightlifting program and your conditioning. But when all that's done, do you take care of your body? Do you go in the cold tub, the whirlpool tub? And do you go to the trainer and him, get some deep tissue in there and really
get massage,
grind out all the knots and stuff like that? And I hate doing that, man, but it's so painful for me. But it's something I commit myself to doing, and that's what allows me to stay healthy and keep going each day.
Right on, man. I kind of want to talk. You mentioned something about you hate losing, and I want to say that's like everybody, all of us. If you want to do something and you put all your heart to doing it, and you don't quite get what you're going for, and being a little older, you're 23, right?
Yeah.
If you can give your old self, a little bit of advice or how you cope with losing now that you're a little bit older, and that sometimes at the end of the day, man, you give your heart, and like, everybody, I deal with that too, man. And sometimes I cry. Like you cry, man, when you're playing sports and
yeah, for sure, dude.
and I've played for Guam rugby nationals, dude, and like sometimes you just can't win. You just ball it out on the field, and it just, dude, it feels like it sucks the life out of you, like your girlfriend freaking just broke up with you, or I don't know, man, like you know what I mean? It's just like you just want to like sloop down to the ground.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually want to not take back, but add on to what I said about I hate losing. I know everybody hates it, but as I've gotten older, and something I've really committed myself to the past year and a half, which is when I started with all my success.
Right.
Is not learning to be okay with failure, but realizing that failure, especially in baseball, is inevitable. Like everybody knows, it's like 7 out of 10 times, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times. And that's considered great. And it's a hard concept to grasp, because everybody wants to get hits, everybody wants to strike out everybody, but learning how to fail,
right,
in my opinion, teaches you how to win. Because we do this thing, it's funny, because I hate doing some of the things that we do out here with our drills and stuff, because it's hard, man. Like, we have this station, this working rotation that's called beast mode, and it's basically this pitching machine that's freaking cranked all the way up as fast as it can go, and you're using a wooden bat, and they say then it's close to you, it's it's not at the distance of a pitcher,
so it makes it a lot more faster, exponentially faster.
So like, it's tough to beat. So basically, when you're failing and failing and failing constantly at this one thing, it's frustrating. But if you can learn how to beat your failures, how to like say, okay, I'm expected to fail at this, but let me try and do my best and get something out of it. So once I changed my mindset in that, I started trying harder, because before, knowing that, this thing's fast as hell and I'm supposed to swing and miss, I started saying, all right, shorten up, just put the bat on the ball, start fouling it off first. Don't think of hitting it fair. Just touch it, just foul tip it. And once I started foul tipping them regularly, started hitting them, like better little weak liners and stuff like that. And now, like, I can freaking just whack those things. Like, I can hit the crap out of it, because when you do something, people shy away from things they're bad at.
From a challenge.
Yeah. So, like, for me, it was that dang pitching machine, and I hated doing it because I wasn't good at it. I didn't like to do it, and I thought it was a waste of time because I wasn't good at it. So why would I practice something I'm not good at? When really, why wouldn't you practice something you're not good at? So learning from those challenges and realizing that, when you're not good at something, you need to practice it. And it's a hard concept to grasp, I feel like.
No, it's not, dude. It's not. I actually just can't remember. I don't know if it was Zach Banner that said it last week or who I was talking to, but or no, you know what? It was Pete Baguetta, which is our rugby coach, one of our rugby coaches, and he was like, all right, guys, if you can't pass on your left hand, you know what you need to do? If you suck at it, you just need to pass with your left hand. That's it's simple. It's simple. If you suck at something, like, do it, because eventually, if you do it, your hardest, you're gonna eventually get better. Even it's a hard concept to grasp if you're stubborn and you're like, you want to, right? I don't want to say, man, I want to kind of challenge. Well, here's the one I want to, from me to you is when you say lose, man, or just say, I don't want to be like, you don't like losing, but I like winning. That'll probably be more positive. And then I came across this quote that says, I never lose. I either win or I learn.
Yeah.
And it's taking, that positive, that, I mean, there's always something that you're gonna take from losing, but I think if it's more, it's not hard. Life doesn't get hard. it gets super freaking challenging. I mean, I like to say, like, God's not going to put something in front of you, put a challenge that you can't handle. God will never do that. It'll or the universe or whatever you want to call it. It'll never happen like that. No matter how hard of a time you're going to be going through your life or whatever it is, on the field, off the field, family, friends, there's never anything that he would have put in front of you that you really can't handle. Like, and it took me a while to kind of like, it took a lot of trials to realize, dude, that's kind of true. Like, no matter how bad you think how dark the hole is you're in or whatever, dude, it will always get better. You just got to keep on friggin' doing it. And
there's actually this little thing. We have these academy sessions from time to time where we learn more about mental toughness and developing our mental game and how to cope with all the failure and stuff like that. And there's this one, God, I forget. I wrote it down in my notebook, but I forget.
Just start scrambling, and I'll Google it. Just like off the top of your head, what do you think it? Like, what did you think it was?
Shoot, I don't remember. But I think I remember is the quote. Like, this guy, he's in the military, and I think he's a part of one of the SEAL teams.
Right.
But his, like, I guess I'm pretty sure it's a SEAL team, but for those guys, you have to have you got to be, insane in the head to do.
It's probably SEALs, Navy SEALs.
To do all that stuff. And basically SEALs, they love to be challenged. So like their response to everything was one word, and it was good. So like, all right, guys, we have a 15-mile hike back to camp, and we got to do it in this amount of time. And, instead of being like, oh, crap, like this is going to freaking suck, everybody would be like, good, and it's kind of weird, but it applies to everything in life because like, just like you're saying, like no matter what you're going through, at the end of that, like something good's going to come out of it. Like my first 2 years in pro ball, I was freaking struggling my butt off, and like it sucked. I was so boring. I wanted to quit,
Yeah, it's mentally tough.
But I should have just been like, all right, this is a challenge. Good. Let me fail now, learn from everything, and get better. And I want to remember the book, but it's really good. And what that guy was basically trying to say is just like in everything in life, you embrace every challenge, and no matter how hard it gets, all you have to say is good.
Yeah.
And because something good will come out of it. And it's like you said, it's hard because people are stubborn, and it's something that people as humans, we want instant gratification. We want instant results. We want it now. So it's hard to wrap our heads around that with, everything that goes on in life, all the technology and everything. So just, man, it's tough, but it's something that you got to persevere through and keep grinding through.
All right, man. I think I will wrap up the show just a little bit. That's a good way to like kind of end it on that note. Is there anything you want to add, or you want to shout out, or anyone? I have like one. I think there's only one person, like my uncle Steve Munoz, like umpire Steve says hello. He wanted to watch. Yeah, I try to tell all the guys, like, hey man, they can watch it later. They can watch it later. So he has a little league game that he's umping or referee or umping, right? Yeah. It's a little league game that he's umping. So that man, Tony boy, I can't catch it, but man, just tell Trae, umpire Steve, Uncle Steve says hello. And
wow, man, tell him I said hey. Yeah, I used to always love pitching when he was calling because he had a pretty good zone for me. So tell him I said hey, and hope he's doing well. But yeah, man, just, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. And, I hope, whoever was listening or watching got something out of it and enjoyed, the conversation. And hopefully I answered everything, to the best of my ability.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully we can chat again, now that we know how to do this through the iPhone. We can do kind of more updates if that's what you guys are wanting to do. And, I enjoyed it, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Hey man, thank you very much. Dude, yeah, we'll hit you up on Instagram. I'm in Hawaii. We forgot to say this, but I'm in Hawaii. booze in Guam. So if you're passing through Hawaii and like you have layovers stuck, whatever, anything, dude, just hit me up. You can hit me up on social media. Dude, man, to the listeners, thanks guys for listening. If you're listening to this live, we appreciate you guys taking some time out of Sunday. I know it's like the middle of Sunday on Guam, and people are in between church and chowing and all that stuff. So thank you guys for listening. If you're listening to this a little later, man, appreciate you guys always joining us on Master Random. Dude, Trae, thank you so much, buddy. Man, just thank you so much for doing this last minute. Not last minute, but we're kind of getting everything, all the technical difficulties out of there. But we got it this time. So you actually taught us a lot. You taught us this time around. So we appreciate that, bro.
No problem, man.
Much thanks.
Really appreciated you guys, taking the time to check on me and share with other people how I'm doing, and I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yep, thank you, Master Random. All right, brother. I'm gonna pause the recording. I'm gonna end the recording, but we'll still be here if you're on. Just shoot it for a little bit. But thank you guys very much.